Major keys are on the drop list this week, and the only way to find out is to watch. Welcome back, gamers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Rojas, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess wave. You do it too. Bow down, respect, and of course there's the Coco.
Huh?
The fire.
Oh, she's here! The princess is here. Alright, guys, today is Monday, and we have a brand new, amazing drop list for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good books this week. I don't know what happened 1 year ago, but there were some really, really good. There's a lot of books to choose from, way more books than we normally get to choose from on the drop list. And it was exciting, so I think we picked some really exciting books and some books I wanted to learn about on the drop list. And if you're wondering to yourself right now, what is the drop list? What the Gains crew does, for your first time ever watching, we scour the internet for trending lists, hot lists. I'm putting Zach on the spot.
What are you doing? This is not normal.
Any kind of list that people are speculating on or explaining why these books are hot for the time. And we jump 1 year forward and we try to see if any of these books are still hot or maybe the reasons why they were popular or not, and kind of make a decision. Zach will give you his educated, masterful decision on whether or not these books should be forgot or maybe picked up because they're going to come back again. Mm-hmm. And it's just a really fun and exciting thing to do. You know what also is really fun and exciting?
Trying out a new drink. We got here a Kavita Cold and Smooth Kombucha. It's mango lime. It's only 35 calories for this bottle.
Calories.
And it has a little bit of alcohol. And you know how much I like that.
2%. Is it 2%?
No, it's like 0.5 of a percent.
Oh, 0.02? Well, it could be 0.02.
I don't think
Let's just
so.
say 0.02.
0.2.
Make sure to show them the up close though. They might want to try it.
I think I did.
It's good for the gut health.
Yeah. You always have to worry about the guts.
The guts! It's like a probiotic, right? You know, like little beasties in there?
It's like a boss biotic.
Little creatures will get inside your stomach and eat the bad stuff.
That gets you excited.
Or there's like a symbiotic relationship with the stuff inside you. I don't know, one of the two.
Tasty. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Has a weird kind of flavor towards the end of it, but not bad.
Mm-hmm. You know what else is not bad? And you can also get a symbiotic relationship. Come and hanging out with us on
Whatnot.
Yeah, every Saturday you get to hang out the Gains crew at our new scheduled time, where Adam and Zach start out the show at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get you all warmed up with those great deals, dollar starts, 30-second auctions, and the princess finishes you off at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where she has the legendary Wheel of Gains, where there's always a chance to win a slab.
And always a chance to put people on the spot.
That's true. There's a lot of on the spot. All right, let's get back to these comics, these drops. We have a really interesting one for number 5. We got Amazing Spider-Man 36 from 2001. And this is a John Romita Jr. John Romita Jr. cover.
As they all should be. Just
Michael,
like this.
Michael Straczynski doing the writing on this one. And Zach, do you know what Michael Straczynski is famous for?
What, Heroes or?
No, he's actually the writer for Babylon 5.
Oh.
Yeah, they brought him on. They were like, when things were going hard for Spider-Man, they were like, hey, let's bring on a really famous writer.
They should have got the guy from Far Sector.
They could have. Yeah.
Not Far Sector, Farscape.
Farscape, yeah. But, they brought him on and to write Spider-Man. And this is a really famous, if you guys are unfamiliar with the black cover, this came out for after September 11th as a tribute. And they basically had to come together as a company and rewrite this issue very quickly so that they could show like the heroes or characters of Marvel working alongside the real heroes that were the first responders, the firemen, the police officers and stuff like that were helping people during the tragedy of 9/11. And it's cool. It's always been kind of an expensive book just for a lot of reasons. You know, it's near and dear to a lot of people's heart. A lot of things that take place in Marvel is in New York anyway, so it's even more special there because, most of Marvel takes place in New York, which is really cool. And this kind of made the drop list, and Zach will explain to you a little bit more because it's one of those books that you like sell or keep depending on the time of year, and Zach will get more deep in that. But keep There's also a newsstand version of this book, which is really rare. I've never seen a newsstand copy, but it garnishes more value than the regular one. But it's always been cool. You know, it's always been a cool book. Zach will get you with them numbers, though.
Yeah, price a year ago for this fantastically blank cover that has good meaning behind it, showing love for our nation and the first responders. The price a year ago was $163. A recent sale now is $167 for a 9.8, but just months before it was selling for about $130. So it technically has a 2% increase, but if you consider the book that sold month or two before that, it's a 21% drop. Range is $122 to $296 an entire year. Average sale is $192. What's going on is 9/11, September happens, the price takes a sudden jump, and you can see that over every single decade, it always jumps right around this time or leading up to it. Usually it gets to the high, like closer to 9/11, and then it does a big decline. So this is one of those books that we are finding. There should be a list, right? There should be a list somewhere of all the books that you buy and sell during a certain time every single year. This book, V for Vendetta, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another story. Okay,
a tale for another day.
There's 7,000 exactly. There's 7,870 total graded. There's 1,697 CGC 9.8
Wow.
universal. It's a 22% of all graded. Ooh. That's a really good ratio right there. That's a really good.
All black cover too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a book very connected to our nation's history, sad part of history. So I think this has good longevity. I think people should get it, and I think people should ideally it's a perfect book for a remark. Yeah. Perfect book for a remark. And if I think you have those two connected into a 9.8 or right around there, I think this book could be a big winner for you. If it's for speculation purposes. If you just like the book, just get it raw, put it in a top loader or whatever you want to protect it, make it look nice, and put it in your collection.
Yeah, obviously, like according to our drop list, it does go down a little bit, but it kind of goes back to its original price, which that should hold over, years to come in the future. So
I think so, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, number 4 on the list, and we got some big popular books here. We got Spawn number 1, 1992, Todd McFarlane artwork, Todd McFarlane writing, doing the story, and this is one of those ones that's interesting. It's nice to hear. Spawn kind of goes up and down. There's a million copies of this book out there, so the demand is always high, but there's always enough books to go around. I feel like people want this book, but it's easy to find because they're always out there, which kind of keeps it at like this kind of similar price. And every once in a while, you get a little inkling. Todd will say like, "Oh, there's going to be a new Spawn movie or a Spawn TV show," and he likes to do that to mess with people, and it'll kind of shoot up in price to go with it. And it's just cool. If you guys are unfamiliar with Spawn 1, its first appearance of Spawn, Al Simmons, as he's also known. And you got Sam and Twitch, who's another great characters that actually came out of this story as well, too, that had their own spin-off series, which is really cool. And Malbagola, the demon the demon that he makes a deal with to come back as the Spawn character, and Jason Wynn as well also has a cameo in this book. So it's cool. It's definitely a fun book. I think everybody should have this. Just a while ago was quite a bit more expensive because of some stuff Todd had said, and now it's back on the drop list going down. Keep in mind that there is a newsstand variant of this book as well, which garnishes much higher value, much higher value. And a lot of people say there's that misprint one with inside cover, where if you look at the green thing, and Todd actually says that it's about 50-50. So you can't really. He's like, when he saw it going through the printer, it's about halfway done. And then they fixed it for the other half. So shouldn't really garnish that much work. But very, very cool book. Some people like the story, some people don't, but the artwork is ridiculous. Yes. Cool. Ridiculously cool.
What's ridiculous is if you don't have this book already. A price a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $185. Now you can get it for about $150. Range 100 is low throughout the entire year. High is 217. Average sale 178. It's a 19% drop. There's 31,603 total graded.
31,000.
31,000,
Wow.
a lot. 10,954 of them are CGC 9.8 universal. It's a 35% of the total graded. So they printed this out at a time period where probably the paper quality was pretty good, even for a black cover.
Yeah.
It can stand
Image
up.
always use better paper too. Anyways. Yeah.
And there's so many of them. That's why there's so many 9.8s. So if you're going to get this book, non-newsstand, that cover, and there's also another book, but that cover, I would highly recommend you getting a signature on, and that will take your book one step above
To the next level.
To one step, unless you get a 9.9 or a 10, which is almost impossible. But there are 9.9s and 10s, and they're worth a buttload. So, iconic book, iconic 90s book that will have legs. Maybe not as much legs as other books on this list, but it will have legs. You will make money on it. But if you want to make extra, have it signed by Todd the God McFarlane. That's how you get those gains.
Yep, that is how you get those gains. All right, and the next book is no joke. It's the Batman Killing Joke, number 3 on the list, 1988. Oh, awesome Brian Boland cover, fantastic Brian Boland cover, and Alan Moore, the great Alan Moore, writing this really, really cool story that everyone beloves. This is overall, first and foremost, just like a quintessential Batman story. I mean, it is a key because this is when Barbara Gordon gets her back broken, and why is everyone in Batman getting their back broken? Just
My back!
Just break this guy's back. He's next. The good thing none of the Robins had their backs broken, but I feel like it's coming.
Well, it's like what? It's like I broke my back. What was it? Vertebrae? No, it's spinal.
Yeah, but yeah, just Alan Moore, I think under contract had to write this story. He didn't even want to write another Batman book. And they're like, hey, we got you under contract. Write this, one bad day story. And he's like, whatever, in his British accent. Okay, well, of course I'm going to write this story. And then he writes it, and it's like the best thing ever written for Batman. And basically rewrites Joker as this like more psychotic, dangerous villain as opposed to like the goofy slapstick clown that, was before that,
Yeah.
Ever since then going forward, he becomes like this new character, different type of character that we all kind of understand now. And just cool. It's a very cool book. There's a lot of them. Obviously, Zach will probably get you those numbers as well. And in case you didn't know, which I learned yesterday,
a lot of arguments
there's
about it.
14 printings of this book. I thought there was 9. Key Collector only shows 9, but Zach proved me wrong. There was 14 printings of this cover.
I memorized that, and I was pretty drunk when we were having this conversation, and I get very blunt when I get a little bit drunk.
And Princess did some extra research for us. There's not very many sales numbers on 11 through 14. I think she even said 14 had hardly any sales, if any. So I'm not even sure. The price on that is kind of unknown, a little bit unknown, unless you know a lot more than we do. But if you're looking for the high value one, issue 9. The crimson colored one is the one to go after. The first printing, the green one, is also highly coveted as well. Zach will tell you, unless you really need it, stay away from the pink one.
Yeah, that's the second print. And the second print and the 9th print, if you haven't seen the 9th print, you can get it confused with
There's
the second
another
print.
red one. There's a red one too, but the crimson one's like a dark red. And that's the one that's worth a lot of money, so just keep an eye out for that guy. But if you ever get a chance, read this story. It'll change your life.
It's really good.
Yeah, and Zach will break you with those numbers.
I'll break your back. Or shoot you in the back and have your back broke. I don't know. Price a year ago for this laughingly funny book was $277 for a CTC 9.8. Now it sells for about $190. Pretty reasonable. Range, it's been as low as 100 and as high as 360 in an entire year. Average sales $232. It's a 31% drop. Perfect price, I would say, for this 9.8 beautiful cover, classic story. There's 10,579 CGC total graded. 4,309 are CGC universal. That's 41% of the total graded, so that's pretty high too. Remember, 25%, ideally 25% or lower is what you kind of want to see in a very highly collectible
I would have thought
book,
that would have
ideally.
been lower, but for a square bound, it makes sense that it would be high. But we've sent 2 in that were perfect, and they both came back 9.6. So
We
I don't know.
got so many 9.6.
Yes, it's like
in this house.
really wicked black cover with the playing card on the back, which seems like if you get that damage, there's no way to get it out. As far as I've seen, there's no way to get any damage out of that book. Yeah. Good luck.
Classic book, great story, great cover. Get it at a 9.8. This is a very great price. You will make money on it. Might take a little bit, but you will make money on it.
I feel like eventually someone should do a movie based on this, and that's one of the reasons why I was popping off last year. Is people were thinking like, oh, this could be the next movie, but I think they're going with the Court Owls. I think it's going to be the next for the Batman. So we'll see. But I think eventually someone should do a standalone movie with this because Batman gets a standalone.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to be part of the DC world for movies. He can do his own thing.
No need.
All right, if you made it this far, you made it to number 2, and this was the most surprising book to make the list. And this is Amazing Spider-Man 238. That's right, 1983.
We got that book?
John Romita Jr., Roger Stern, and this is the you guys know first appearance of the Hobgoblin, who is at this point Roderick Kingsley, which there's been many Hobgoblins, as you guys know. Ned Leeds was a Hobgoblin at one point. I think he was actually tricked into being Hobgoblin by Roderick Kingsley, who's kind of the mastermind, I would be considered the greatest Hobgoblin, in my opinion, was Roderick Kingsley. But this book was hot last year when Jacob Batalon, hopefully I said that right, who is the actor who plays Ned Leeds in the MCU right now, and he took some pictures of him with a great weight loss, and everyone's like, oh dang, Hobgoblin's coming, he's going to put on the thing. And I don't know at this point if we're ever going to see him be Hobgoblin, but you never know. And it spiked it. People were like, hey, this book's getting hot again, pick it up. Mm-hmm. And, Zach will tell you back in 2020 in the comic boom, this book was very, very expensive. And since then, it's taken quite a big dip, as many books have. Yeah. But from a year ago, it's definitely higher because of the MCU spec. And we'll see how that goes. On a side note for this book, if you guys didn't know, there's tattoos that are included. And that's kind of what everyone talks about. So if you're ever out there finding this book in the wild and it's raw, please make sure it has the tattoos in it. You can still buy it without the tattoos. It still has a lot of value without them, but it won't be complete. You won't get that the blue label on it if it doesn't.
And the only way you can tell is you have to shine a light on the thing, and it'll show where the tattoos
are. It's a weird little inside this paper that you're supposed to rip the paper open to see the tattoos inside. So it's kind of hard to see, but make sure those are in there before you get it. Which I've always thought it's interesting how expensive this book is in comparison to other keys at this time frame, and it's much higher, much more expensive, because I think the tattoos make it so much harder to get a complete copy. Because there's so many other Spider-Man keys that are not nearly as expensive as this book. It's weirdly, it's much more expensive than First Venom, and it's not that much older. So it's but it's close. It's very close in time period to it. But Zach will hit you with those numbers.
I was just thinking, you open up the book, it's like,
where's your tattoo? Why come you don't have a tattoo?
Oh my God.
You're not unscannable, are you?
Oh my God!
Man.
Anyways.
Unscannable!
You're unscannable.
Unscannable! No, you don't understand! You gotta let me talk to someone in the army!
Unscannable, get up! Price a year ago for a CG 9.8. Crazy. This is for direct edition. Was $2,895 for 9.8. Now it's $1,654. Range $1,654 to $2,895. $2,071 is the average. It's a 43% drop for the direct. This is gonna blow your mind. It will explode your mind like one of those goblin bombs. There's 11,585. That's quite a bit. Total
That's
grade.
a lot, yeah.
9.8. Universal 707.
Whoa.
It's a 6% of total graded. Newsstand, there's only, it's going to be a little bit biased.
That's
but
skewed
it's
numbers,
skewed
though,
numbers.
because I don't have all the correct data.
Newstead, 326 total graded. 13 of them are newsstand.
That they know
Universal,
of. I don't even think that one says
No, it
newsstand on the
doesn't.
thing,
It's
so I wouldn't
not.
even count towards that. But,
So I
yeah.
got to resend it in.
Yeah. And be on the lookout. Like Zach said, there's a newsstand version of this book, which garnishes more money. A lot more money. There's a Mark Jeweler, which is also a newsstand. And the Canadian version is actually garnishes much more value than the regular one. So keep a lookout. There's like many different versions of the book. But yeah, it's a very, very good. If you're a Spider-Man fan, it's a must-have.
It's a must-have in any grade, as long as it has tattoos. Because if it doesn't have 2 tattoos, you gotta ask,
Why come you don't have a tattoo?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, and the number 1 book of the week, and we thought this one would be fun. We have Thor 411, The Mighty Thor.
Mighty.
This is 1989. Ron Frenz and Tom DeFalco. Really awesome cover. I love this. I mean, how often do you get to see Thor go against Juggernaut, which would be a really, really cool fight.
Yeah.
And the writing on the hammer is just like spectacular, the way they did that too. Just it's an awesome cover. When not that many good books were coming out at this time frame, Thor had a few good ones that came out for Thor, like in the late 80s to 90s. And if you guys didn't know, this is the first cameo of the New Warriors, which issue 412 is also a great book to pick up. You kind of get those side by side. And who's on the New Warriors, you ask? Well, you had Nova, Night Thrasher, Namorita, Speedball, Firestar, and Marvel Boy. Which there's 2 versions of Marvel Boy in Marvel, and they're both the same person but from different multiverses. Then it gets confusing. I'm confused, you're confused. We're all confused about Marvel Boy. Strange character, but the main reason this was a big deal is there's some tweets going on about people really liking Night Thrasher and they wanted him to be in the MCU, and so his book started spiking because he was thrashing in the middle of the night. But if you didn't know, Night Thrasher's alter ego, Dwayne Taylor, could be Dwayne Johnson, could play Night Thrasher. That'd be cool. But he kind of got like these batons that he used and kind of wears like this cool black and red mask. I don't know. He's a very cool looking 90s character. Just, I don't know how, he's got some decent stories, I guess. Nothing too amazing. But, yeah. Well, we'll see if anything ever happens. I think he's got some really cool books that go along with him. And, but unfortunately, he has dropped. And he's the largest drop on the list, so.
Yeah, it was a flop for CGC 9.8, $380 a year ago.
Dang.
Now, $213, respectable.
It's still pretty good for this,
Yeah, decent, great cover.
Yeah.
Range 156 to 380. Average sales 244. It's a 44% drop. There's only 815 total graded, and 158 of them are CGC 9.8 Universal.
Wow.
That's 19% of the total run. It's a great book. It has a great first team appearance and one great first appearance, maybe
Cameo. Just of Night Thrasher. I think all the other characters from the New Warriors all have been around before.
Yeah.
He's the only new character to the group, and believe he's related to Silhouette as well. So she comes out in the 2nd issue of the New Warriors. So
they're from Cambodia.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same. So one of those books, that book, either or, Cameo, full, great to have in your collection. Fantastic. We'll have some legs in the future, just like a lot of these other books on the list. Where they're going to make the most money is when they actually do the team appearance, or have a few of them come out, and then there will be speculation of, okay, maybe the New Warriors are coming, which would be a great title for a movie. So,
that would have been a good James Gunn movie, but we won't see it.
Gonna say.
We won't see it now. We won't see it.
No, James Gunn's salty.
The next James Gunn.
As he should be. Dang it, Marvel. But, yes, fantastic book to get. I would get this one and the one after in a 9.8.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get signed, but I always say, you want to make your book special if it's for speculating on price purposes. If it's not, just get in your collection. If you just like to have these books, this is an excellent book to add in your collection. excellent read. I'm sure. I actually haven't read it. Oops. But I'm sure it's an excellent read. Great team. I've actually read the first issue, and it was a great story. But yeah, this is one of those books that you get now, pay a fair price, and it will go up a fair amount. So yeah.
All right, let's hear the number one pick of the week from the expert, Zach, the comic book expert.
Honestly, if you got the cash, get that ASM 238. This book has been hot ever since it came out, and it's gonna continue to be hot. People have been raving, always trying to find this book, because a lot of them have the tattoos out of it. So to find a great copy, high-grade copy with the tattoos, makes it a very coveted book. I would go after that. If that's too pricey, my second pick, probably, let me look at this again for a second, I'd still say Batman the Killing Joke. I think that would be
There's a lot of good books on this list.
Nice, great book. 411 would be kind of my third, but yeah, Batman the Killing Joke, iconic cover. People love Batman. People love the Joker. You can't go wrong with that book.
That's true. That is true. It's no joke.
It's no
That's
joke.
no joke. All right, guys. That's going to
Nothing
wrap
to laugh
up
about.
the drop list for this week. And if you enjoy hearing it as much as we love delivering it, do us a huge favor. All you got to do is crush the like button, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below, and hit that notification bell. Because we like to go live Wednesday, you guys get to see this on Monday, and then you get to come hang out with us on Wednesday. And the only way to know that is if you hit that notification bell, and you get that first dibs. All right. And anything else there?
Yeah, you gotta share how you do that. Is you gotta go to a movie theater, get some nice popcorn and some nice candy, watch a nice Marvel or DC, or hopefully in the near future, Image or the other one, Dark Horse. Hopefully they do more movies up based on that stuff. But you gotta like throw some candy in get to the top part of it, throw some candy, so throw some popcorn, get into a fight, guys, because a movie is so much better watching when you get into a fight. That's how you, no, actually don't do that. Don't do that. It's horrible. We all hate those people. Or the people that kick the back of your chair, or the people that, hey, let's have a conversation in the middle of the movie.
All right, now you're just going on a rant. All right,
That's how
guys.
you're going to rant.
Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those rant gains.
Yeah.
Every single one. In fact, let me go on another. No, later.